So I told you last week we are going to be starting our brain series, and I hope you are in for I know you are in for a real treat because brain health is something that's often really neglected, really just we can't see our brain. So it's just like put aside, right? Out of sight, out of mind, literally. And it's really easy to look at our appearance and how we look. And let's be careful about what we're eating and we're exercising and we're taking care of our health. And maybe we think about things like cancer, or we're thinking about things like diabetes or even heart disease because it's talked about a lot. And there's things often that we can do about it. We can help solve those difficulties and challenges that come up when our health starts tinkering, failing, and it leads us to some disease. We can start to slow that down. But what we need to understand is by neglecting our brain, we are just hoping, praying, wishing that eventually, if our brain declines and we end up with mental health issues, cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's, that there will be just a pill to fix me, a thing to fix me. What you need to understand is brain health, with all the technology and education and information in the world right now, here we are in 2024. Brain health decline is on the rise. Just in case you don't know the statistics for brain health, since the year basically from 2000 to 2019, that's the latest statistics, the rate of Alzheimer's has gone up by 145%. You think, what in the world? How is that possible with all the knowledge that we have? We have to start thinking about you are the most powerful person to take control of your health that can change the wiring in your brain. You guys, hello. I know some of you over on YouTube, some on Instagram, some on Facebook, some on the podcast, wherever you are. Hello, hello, hello. I know Miss Nina was out there. I saw a few other people jump on and off. But I want you to drop down in the chat. Do you do one thing in your day specific for brain health? Do you? Maybe you are, but you don't even know it is. Or maybe you think you are, but it's not really that helpful or beneficial. So if you don't know, you need to know. So I am going to set you up in these next several weeks of a series on brain health, because that's what's been so passionate of mine. My entire career as a physical therapist, I've helped people recover from brain issues, brain disorders, trauma, and we can heal. The brain is absolutely amazing. But here's the thing. What if you befriended your brain? You became great buddies. You took care of it. You nurtured it because you want to care for it now, today, versus waiting till you get that TBI, traumatic brain injury. You could fall off a horse. You could get in a car accident. You could just be putting things under the cupboard and come up and smack your head on the cupboard. It doesn't have to be some significant trauma. It doesn't have to be a professional football player. It doesn't have to be you were mountain biking and you fell down this huge, ravine. It can be your kid was out front playing ball and accidentally they weren't paying attention. You weren't paying attention when they threw it and it hit you in the head, right? Chances are you've already had your head be concussed, or you will have your head concussed. That is the truth. Now, you might not really felt anything. Maybe you were like, woo, I was dazed for a minute. Or maybe you're like, oh, I got my bell wrong. Holy smokes, I was a little foggy the rest of the day. But chances are you've already experienced it. And then you go about your day. So one, did you do anything to heal it? Because once you felt fine, you thought your brain was recovered, but it's not the case. But what I'm asking you is, if you protect your brain today, if you end up with a trauma, your brain's going to be more protected from having symptoms and damage. And if you protect your brain today, you will significantly, I'm not saying 100%, that no one knows, you will significantly decrease your risk of mental health, mood disorders, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, and so much more. Your brain truly is the most valuable asset. Drop a 1, you guys, down below. If you think your brain is the most valuable asset, drop a 1. Yeah. It's the truth, you guys. It is absolutely the truth. But more to the truth is it's the number one thing we neglect when it comes to health. It truly is. And it's really hard to understand why, except for the fact, historically, many of us have just waited until we're sick to then go to the doctor and think the doctor's going to help us solve it, fix it, band-aid it, and then we'll be fine. Historically, we have not taken personal responsibility for our health. And today, and through this brain health series, I want to empower you that you not only need to, or maybe it is no longer an option, it is essential to take control of your health. And brain health is truly number one, right? So if you improve your brain, you're going to improve your life. You know, if you end up having to have surgery to fix your heart, or maybe reverse diabetes, or maybe even you recover from a diagnosis such as cancer, that may give you, in that span of time, another 5 or 7 great years of your life, okay? In cognitive decline and in mental health issues, that stays with you for 20 to 30 years. So if you take control and responsibility for your brain health, you could have 20 to 30 more better years of your life. So do you want to live in cognitive decline? Do you want to live in mental health issues? Do you want to live where you just can't think straight, you can't remember? No, that's not living right. Our brain is this supercomputer, and we need to upgrade it with what we do in our life, and that you truly are in control. So I want you to believe yourself, that you want to think clearer, have a positive mood, create longevity, vitality. We do that by optimizing and taking control of our brain health. So you guys, I wish I could say there was a magic treatment. I would be a millionaire, a billionaire if there was a magic treatment, or I knew a magic treatment to fix brain health. But it's no wonder that Alzheimer's is skyrocketing at such a rate if you look at the way people are sleeping, the way people are stressed, the way people are eating in their diets, right? All of that is this cascade, loneliness, isolation, that has been ruining brain health, absolutely ruining brain health. Now, the cool thing is we now know the brain is capable of relearning. So knowledge and us learning activities, doing puzzles, new skills, learning to our brain is like exercising to our body. We want to continue new learning. And as we're doing new learning, the neurons in our brain, okay, neurons that fire together, wire together. And that's neuroplasticity. We now know the brain is so capable of reprogramming, relearning. We can reprogram our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, so many things. But you have to practice the skills. You have to absolutely practice the skills. When we talk about the brain being a supercomputer, there's, my gosh, this operating system that's in there is wild, meaning, let me give you a couple statistics, okay? We have about 100 billion neurons in our brain, okay? So brain cells, right? 100 billion. They talk to each other, okay? And it's called synapses, that one talks to the next, okay? There's synapses. Synapses, we have over 500 trillion. So all of that is happening in this supercomputer, 500 trillion synapses. That means one talks to the next, talks to the next, talks to the next. So we can't have them faltering. We can't have inflammation in there. We can't hit our head and have shearing forces. And now certain synapses aren't talking and communicating anymore. It is really, really wild to understand as human beings, our intelligent capability is because this supercomputer is unlike anything else that can be adjusted, changed, modified at any moment in time. And we have this ability of, not only just learning, but learning short-term, converting it to long-term memories and storage. And it is our most valuable asset. Our brain is truly our most valuable asset. And it's like, oh, it creates thoughts, ideas, it stores information, it recalls information. I mean, wow. But here's the thing. The brain doesn't work in isolation. And there is a huge effect of the rest of the systems of our body to our brain. So being able to improve our gut health and our microbiome is going to affect our brain. Supporting a healthy immune system is going to affect our brain. So when we're talking about wellness, and we're talking about, yes, this series is brain health, but I do want you to start understanding that when you do things to support one aspect of your body, like the brain, it's going to help another aspect of your body, like your immune system, like your gut, like other things. So I want you to think, here's some takeaways for just the basics when we start talking about the brain is your most valuable asset. And where do you even start in thinking about, let me do 1 or 2 steps to move forward in taking control of your brain. Are we good with that? I hope so, because I want you to live with a healthier brain. You'll live life fuller, longer. We're good with that, right? I just absolutely love that. So, okay. The number one thing that you can start doing, number one thing that's killing our brain health is processed food. Processed food, ultra processed food. Because all of that excess load of all this other garbage in the food is put upon our brain. Our brain's like, what are all these metabolites? What are all these extra things that you're doing here? What do I do with this? And it can store things in your brain that you don't want. Toxins, chemicals, we don't want that. So it is really not just like, should you eat better? When I say eat better, get rid of ultra processed foods. It is easy, simple, get rid of the box foods, get rid of your fast foods. Can we do that? You'll feel healthier. It's easier. You'll probably save more money. Maybe you'll enjoy cooking after all. All right, that is the number one thing. So a couple other things that I'm going to say is not rocket science. You've probably heard this before time and time again. Sleep is your brain's best friend. Sleep is truly your brain's best friend. Because when we sleep, and I don't just mean you're in bed for that 7 to 9 hours, I mean you are getting deep, rested, restorative sleep. Because the brain washes, it repairs, it heals, it starts sending all these neurotransmitters. That is literally the cleanup from the day. If you don't allow yourself to sleep and get enough sleep, long sleep, but quality sleep, the cleanup can't happen. So it's no wonder the next day you feel a little foggy or tired or have trouble remembering. And then compact that with chronic sleep issues. Oh my gosh. Hence, I know some of you out there that maybe are supposed to be using a CPAP machine because you've got sleep apnea and you don't want to use it. You're killing your brain. Use it, then help yourself figure out how to get off your CPAP machine. There's other things you can do for your health, so maybe you won't need it anymore, but use it because you are depriving your brain of the sleep it needs to heal and repair. So much energy happens when we're sleeping in repairing our brain for the next day. So we eliminated our ultra processed foods. We're going to sleep. The next thing that's killing our brains is sitting. We have all been sitting more and more and more in a sedentary lifestyle. They say sitting is the new smoking, right? I don't really like to say that, but I do know that even myself, when I'm not in my practice with clients, I find myself on Zoom more, on conversations more, sitting more, and I need to get up and move my body. After this, I'm going to exercise and I'm going to get in my sauna. So there's like things to do to move your body. Sitting is the worst thing that we can do because the brain loves movement and it supports good brain health. So we've got to get exercise in. And in a whole nother topic, we'll take a deeper dive into exercise, the type of exercise, what exercise does for the brain. Just know sit less. That's all I'm going to say. Sit less. And really the fourth thing that I want to really hammer on is the chronic load of stress in the world that you put upon yourself. We live in it. So we live in the cortisol world and it is frying our brains, absolutely frying our brains. So how do we get out of that stress when sometimes we don't even feel it because we've just been living in it every single day, right? So it's like, this is just normal. It happened to me. I feel like I was taking care of myself pretty well in my stress levels, meditating, taking care of myself until I moved out of Orange County, California, and into a smaller town in Indiana. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my cortisol, my stress level just took another big jump down. So I have less like distractions, this, that. So my brain is clear. I'm sleeping better. I'm more focused. It's amazing when you get rid of that low grade chronic stress that unfortunately we're kind of addicted to, and we find more stress if we don't have stress. So maybe you've got to find time for a meditation practice, a wellness practice. But you need to really care for your brain now and don't wait until something happens. Even now, as I'm recording this episode, what do you think's in here? Water? I do drink a lot of water. This is my nootropic. Focus, concentration, memory, clarity, positive mood, brain health, brain nutrients, supercharge my brain, help the synapses connect, help the neurotransmission go quicker, faster, smoother. Amazing. There's so much that we can do. I'll have a deeper dive on brain supplements, nootropics on another episode as well. That's not for today. But I think about what I do in my environment, what I put in my body, who I hang around with that may be supporting my brain or not. So I will add that, speaking of who you hang around with, there's a lot of data and research right now that is being driven that community equals longevity. Because if you're in community and have positive relationships, you're accessing your brain, you're being more positive, and it leads to a longer life. So if you don't have community, you may have to go out there and seek it and search it. If you don't have a positive relationship, you may need to change. And you need both positive relationships in the people around you, as well as the positive relationship with you, with self. That is absolutely critical to love yourself and have this positive relationship with you, positive relationship with your brain. Think about it, that you want to nourish it every day and take care of it. Because the real fact is we've got one brain. And there's no, brain transplants. If you need a new knee, they can give you a new knee. If you need a new heart, you can have a new heart. If you need a new set of lungs, they can give you new lungs. If you need an artificial leg, you can have an artificial leg. There is no fix, transplant, cure for your brain health. So I really want you to say, my brain is my most valuable asset. Because if you can't talk, if you can't recognize people, if you can't have conversations, if you can't remember from the day yesterday to today, your body could be working fine and walking and everything, but if you have no ability to build rapport with people and communicate and have discussions and live life and understand things, what sort of life is that you're living in then? So remember, that cognitive decline cascade is a 20 to 30 year mark. So if you're diagnosed at 62, you're going to be living with that to like 92. How's that sound? You want to have 30 years of cognitive decline? Not me. I don't think so. But most of the people that are being diagnosed are in their 60s. So chances are you will live 20 or 30 years with this. And ladies, I'm specifically talking to you because we are twice as likely to get diagnosed than men. And we are the ones that are the worst at taking care of ourselves and doing everything else for everybody other, but not for us. Well, I will tell you, do not let it be too late because what you've been doing the last 20 years is about to catch up with you. I don't think there's anybody in their teens and 20s that listen to me, but I have a feeling there's a lot of you in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, and maybe 70s listening to me. So the time, if you have not been taking care of your brain health, is today, now. Take it seriously. So I can't wait to share more in every single episode of how does your oral health affect brain health? How more does your microbiome affect your brain health? What sort of supplements help your brain health? What sort of exercise helps your brain health? Oh my gosh, we are going to go deep, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely so excited to share this with you. So I hope this has intrigued your interest and you're like, okay, I do need to add one more thing to help me with my brain health every day. I'm going to start really putting this a little bit more on a priority in my wellness journey, in my wellness rituals. If you want support, we actually have an incredible one-day opportunity with Dr. Heidi and myself and a one-day wellness retreat that we're going to be heavy talking about brain health and everything else it relates to and learning how to create your own personalized wellness routines. Does that sound cool? So you can spend a day with us in Orange County, California, March 6th, or Dallas, Texas, March 20th. You choose, but they're coming right up. So just reach out to me. I'll let you know. How do you get involved? How do you join these one-day retreats? It will blow your mind and you will walk away going, oh my God, I understand why. I know the connection and it's easy and I know how to get started today. I want to empower you to get started today. Do not wait because your brain is your most valuable asset. So thank you for joining us always. I would love to hear your feedback. Tell me what you're doing for brain health. I cannot wait to know. I want everybody to share their successes and their stories. I appreciate you. I thank you guys so much. I always hope this is valuable. If you feel you had a friend or family member, somebody else that needed to hear this information, share this with somebody else. Subscribe, because that is the best and fastest way that we can share this with others, that it may just help to change their health and really elevate this wellness movement that we're all searching and looking for and want to be a part of today. So signing off for the first of the series of brain health. Have a fantastic day, you guys.